Thank you. We start in another 1 2 minutes. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. If you missed the first session, please. Although I wasn't able to save the complete video, but I am going to put up the link to the YouTube video on my bio. You need to watch it. It was an emotional session. It was an emotional roller coaster. So please try to watch that video. There are so many takeaways, so many things you would learn from it. Okay. So our guest is here already, and without wasting much of your time, I will just go ahead to read her profile so we can begin. Okay, so we have Stephanie this evening, and Stephanie will be doing justice to a very, very special topic to my heart. She will be talking about how we can help teenagers, overcome emotional and social struggles. Now, Stephanie Duemmel is a social and emotional development coach for teenagers. She's also the founder of Here We Go Coaching Services. Through a four-stage approach, she encourages teens to adopt awareness, attitude, action, and accountability that promote courage and confidence in their daily lives. Stephanie believes in teaching others to take control of their thinking, emotions, and behavior to get the best results in life. Her passion is helping teenagers develop key leadership skills that will help them through their challenges of everyday life. So the doors of opportunities are endless. Stephanie coaches teens on how to goal set, how to take action, and reach beyond what they ever thought possible of themselves. Because teenagers will learn to they will think differently, after sessions with Steph. They will think differently, they will act differently, and they will gain control of their own actions so they have full power in impacting positive change. Stephanie is a lifelong learner and she has spent her career leading people to success. I am so happy, so honored, and so delighted to have Stephanie with us this evening. So I'm just going to bring her in.
Appreciate the opportunity today to share and
Especially in this time we are in, we know all the emotional struggles, they have to combat on a daily basis. And we're so glad to learn from you tonight. So the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you.
My
Well,
pleasure.
welcome everyone. I hope that your week has been full of blessings and moments of joy. The chance to open the door to new possibilities, new actions, maybe new behaviors. And today, I really hope that you're open to, this message that I want to share with you. And I hope that you'll walk away today with, just a few tools that you can add to your parenting toolkit and, put them to practice today. My name is Steph Duemmel. I go by Steph, and I live in Dallas. Learn to become wiser. I was raised around all boys growing up. I didn't have many female influences, and there weren't a lot of girls in my neighborhood. All my I never really told her why, though, and she never seemed to understand why I wanted that new lunchbox. And it really left me carrying embarrassment every single day of that school year because I did not get a new lunchbox. We couldn't afford a new lunchbox. So I had to carry that lunchbox. Well, then when I was 10 years old, I learned a lot more about being embarrassed and being self-conscious. My mom was because we didn't have a lot of money. And another savings was my mom's beauty shop, which came with free haircuts for the whole family and perms. And those scars of those perms left you
Yeah.
me impacted for a long time. So, little did I know what I did put together in my head was learning, opened up those lines of communication. And
Mm.
we both weren't so afraid to talk about tough feelings. Well, you fast forward to high school, and this feeling was reinforced tenfold. My feelings of being self conscious grew even more and more and more. The bad haircuts continued with those kinky curly perms, the handmade orange bikini with polka dot
Mm.
swimsuit, and the boys nicknaming me Brew. And,
Mm.
the embarrassment of being dateless every time a high school dance surfaced.
Mm.
Every experience reinforced that same feeling.
Mm.
And, these experiences left me feeling really terrible inside. So, what did I do with that terrible? Well, I took that terrible out on my parents, specifically, my
Mm.
mom. And as experiences got worse, I got worse because I didn't feel like my mom and dad understood the way I was feeling,
Yeah.
nor did I share at that moment what I was feeling. And when they didn't understand me and how I was responding to those social and emotional struggles and why I was behaving the way I was, I really just kept pushing them farther and farther away. So during these times and during many other experiences in my life, I learned a lot of great lessons. I gained a lot of knowledge that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And I learned how I handled, and I learned what was me, how others responded to me, how strong I was, whether I supported myself mentally up here or not, what type of decisions I made, and whether those decisions helped me or hurt me. And, it gave me a skill that would stick with me throughout my life. I remember how all the experiences impacted me, whether they knocked me backwards or, maybe they left me in a mess of uncertainty. Maybe I was embarrassed or full of shame. Those experiences really showed me the true importance of life.
Mm.
All of these experiences had an impact on who I was becoming as a person. And through each moment in my life, I was learning how to filter those experiences and form a perception about myself, about others, and really a perception about the world around me.
Mm.
That perception would control my thoughts for so long. It controlled my behaviors, it controlled my relationships with others, how I communicated with others, how I now you know situation to the lunch so do our children. Our children right now, our kids are right now at this moment, they're going through an experience in which their mind will filter, chew out.
Yes, yes.
So I want to provide, overcome them with a sense of courage, a sense of confidence, and more so, a sense of awareness to their mental and physical patterns that are going on within their body. So let's talk about some of those practical tools that you can use to build confident, helpful, a helpful personal perspective for your team. So one of the things that you can do is to foster a connection. You can foster that connection with your child and work to really strengthen the rapport that you have with them. Building rapport is so beneficial in connecting with people, and building rapport is essential in effectively communicating. And building rapport helps you stay in sync with other human beings. So without rapport, it really is hard to guide somebody or influence somebody or to have an impact on someone else without that rapport. And the foundation really for all conversations is a feeling of honesty and trust between two people. And if that foundation isn't there, people don't want to share. They don't want to trust that you will listen non-objectively, or listen objectively, non-judgmentally. So when there is a high degree of sameness between two people, we can build rapport a lot more easily. And instinctively, we may feel a lot less threatened by someone we perceive that is like us. When somebody's when they're like us, it allows us to relax and open up.
Yeah.
It really does. And I'm sure you see that in your coaching business as well.
Yes.
So, being like someone else or getting that feeling of sameness can be done through several techniques. So something you can do is you can mirror your child's body language. You can mirror their energy. If you come into the room and you're all high energy and your child is really low energy, that might be off-putting to them. And I understand you're probably trying to drive their energy, but start on their energy level. Start finding activities that the child likes to do. Start doing activities they like. Let them pick the activities and become interested in what they're interested in. Learn more about them. Learn more about their likes, their dislikes, what motivates them, what gets them up in the morning, what excites them, and really try to learn more about what is important to them. Not important to you, but what's important to them. Because we're all so different and our interests are so different. And be intentional. Yeah, be intentional about acknowledging when they contribute to the family and when they bring value. Make it a big deal when they help with dinner, or when they take out the trash, or when they want to help mow the lawn, or they just want to help you with one of your work projects. Don't dismiss them. Want to learn, so have them learn. Incorporate them into what you do. Maybe they have a huge interest in something you're doing. Let them foster that interest. Let them grow that interest. Maybe that's a good connection for the both of you. But try mirroring their body language, maybe matching their voice, matching their energy to bring that level of sameness to the conversation. And then use those words and terms and phrases and let them know that you're listening. And when you're repeating the same words that they're using and you're paraphrasing back, or you're repeating back for clarity, and you're trying to create that sense of understanding and connectedness, this will help you do so. And the more the child feels like you're like them, the more willing they will be to open up, because they feel like it's a safe space, like it's a safe environment to do so. And that's really important, creating that safe environment. So the second action I would suggest to build that connection with your child, or get to know them a little bit better, would be to schedule some one-on-one time with your child, especially if there's multiple children in the home. I think it's important that you schedule that one-on-one time. This helps the child feel like they're important to you, and that you are committed to them. It lets that child know busy schedule, because kids know, they understand parents are busy. They understand, they see us in action. They see us when we talk about work and how demanding work is. They see all that. So when you schedule that one-on-one time with them, they know that you're taking time out of your schedule to be with just them and only them. And this, again, helps build that rapport, but it also brings a sense of value and allows the walls to come down a bit. It allows that opportunity for, there's just the two of you. So if you both don't talk, there will be silence. But if you both fill that space, there will be a lot of discussion. So even if they aren't super excited about it at first, you can win them over. You can win them over by providing events, that interest your child. And again, let them pick some of those activities. Make it fun for them. Make it special. Make it unique to them, because that creates a bond between just the two of you. And they recognize that there are no other kids there. They recognize that their brothers and sisters aren't there, and they notice it is just you and them. So they notice. Kids are smart. And during this time, it allows you to be a little more vulnerable. And I think what kids want to see is that adults are human. We always seem to have the answers, or we pretend to have the answers, where in fact, most of us adults are just struggling just as much, right? We're just struggling just as much. And teenagers want to know that their parent's a human being. And that parents experience emotions, and they experience challenges, they experience struggles, and it allows you to continue to build that rapport with them. So, it provides opportunity for you and your child to have that one-on-one conversation about life experiences, such as school, maybe relationships, friendships, social and emotional struggles, and those issues they have that creep up on them every single day. So scheduling that one-on-one can be really helpful to break down those walls. And when I talk about walls, I mean about the walls of both of you. Because if it's hard for a teenager to share, where are they getting that from? Parents have to be willing to share in order to show the child that it's okay to open up about your family, and it's okay to talk about what's going on in your life, and it's okay to feel this way, because most of the feelings that teenagers are feeling are normal feelings. They're just blown out of proportion. And as a parent, the more you learn to share with them about times in your life that were hard, about feelings that you felt when things weren't going so well, and about how you reacted to them, that helps that child see that you're human and that you are working to figure it out as well, and that you will always encounter challenges in your life, and here's how you go about approaching those problems. So, and just, you can share stories too. Sharing stories is a great way to connect with your child, because they will probably connect with some of those stories. But I just want to be clear, stories are not lectures, because I can assure you that no one wants a lecture. I got plenty of lectures growing up. Nobody wants a lecture. They just kind of turn that ear volume off there. So, but however, stories are great ways to connect and share experiences. These stories let them see that you struggle in life also, and it allows the opportunity to coach them through those difficult situations. It allows you to give some input. It allows you to help them through those difficult feelings or those thoughts that they have, those inner thoughts, the ones that are really making them feel bad, and helps them sort through those emotions. The third thing that you can do as a parent is maybe listen without reaction. I think that's one of the hardest things for us to do as humans, is to listen without reacting. So many times we're so eager to say what we're going to say back, right? That's what we do. Instead of just completely listening without reaction, we're ready to give our input. We're ready to give our 2 cents. And so a good way to practice this is to ask questions that are non-threatening, questions that promote sharing and clarity. A child most likely doesn't want your feedback and advice all the time. And if you're getting a negative reaction when you're giving feedback, that's probably a good indicator that they don't want your feedback. Especially if they're yelling back or slamming their door or stomping off or telling you to shut up. It's probably because they don't want to hear your feedback and advice. They're just trying to figure it out. They don't want somebody to manage their feelings for them. They want somebody to listen to their feelings and maybe help them keep those feelings in perspective, not solve them, but keep them in perspective and figure out those feelings, because figuring out those feelings for all of us is extremely tough. So pay attention to the behaviors when your child is responding to your feedback. If they're welcoming, continue the feedback. But if they give you a negative response, try a different approach. And when people fear there will be a reaction, they just don't want to share. That's just the human defense that we carry. And, why share something when I might get the wrath, right? If I'm going to get the riot act or I'm going to get the wrath, why share? That sharing then it doesn't become something that I want to do. Instead, as a parent, try practice that self-control and that emotional intelligence. Try to contain your reaction. Try to listen without judgment. Try to listen from a space that you don't have it all figured out. You're not trying to manage their emotions. You're just trying to help them grow and learn how to deal and handle some of these emotions. Because again, your kid will share less and less if you create a repeated negative experience when they open up to you.
Mm.
And by learning how, we filter information earlier, we can begin to understand that if your child has filtered a similar experience with a state of frustration and another one, well, your child is building a thought pattern of every time I share with my parents, I get a reaction I don't like. So therefore, I don't want to share it. So it shuts them down. And, people are motivated by two things, pleasure and pain. We seek pleasure and we avoid pain. And when a child already knows how the parent is going to respond, they avoid that pain. They avoid that pain and they just choose not to share. They go into that communication blackout that I was talking about earlier. So in order to change or break that thought pattern that your child has associated with sharing with you, you need to change your response. Remember, each of us has our own model of the world. And it's because of how we filter information. We all filter information completely differently. How your child filters information that builds their perception is 1000% different than you. And the emotion their mind assigned to that experience they shared with you is so different from you. And knowing this helps you react less. I have a lot of moms that I talk to, and most of the moms are confident moms that have had no problem handling the emotions in their life. And they just don't understand why their kid is so dependent upon them, why their kid breaks down when they are faced with problems, when their kid just goes into full-blown panic mode when they think that somebody doesn't like them. And a parent that's extremely confident can't understand why their child is like this.
Yeah.
Well, it's because your child interpreted every experience completely different than you did. And this way of interpreting is what creates that level of emotion, that creates that state of mind. And that state of mind, that emotion is what drives that behavior that we push out from around us. We push it out to other people. When we have things going on inside here and we don't know how to react to those emotions and we don't know how to manage those emotions, we push them out to the rest of the world. And they come out really discombobulated. They come out really just distorted. And the emotions that the child is, portraying aren't really the emotions the behaviors they want to portray. It's just because they don't know how to channel those emotions any differently. So hopefully these three things can help you build a stronger rapport with your child to open and, foster those lines of communication. And hopefully it will help you start to observe the language patterns that they have, maybe the behavior patterns they have, the emotional patterns that your child is starting to develop. And, being in tune with your child can really help you understand how their perception is being built. And knowing this really helps you break those patterns that limit your child's ability to move through their world and learn to overcome these social and emotional struggles and issues that they deal with on a daily basis. So as I wrap up, I want to take some time to share with you all how I help teens and preteens. And I think by me sharing this, I think you might learn a little bit more about maybe the approach to your teen or your children, and work to bring a little more awareness to those perceptions and those really deep-rooted beliefs that your child has already established. And that's what I do. I work with them to bring about that awareness, about those deep-rooted beliefs. because those deep rooted beliefs sometimes can be very damaging. And I worked through a series of questions to reveal insight to how that child feels about or thinks about, their situations in life. And through these questions, it allows me to help them reveal how these perceptions are affecting them. Once your child starts to build their awareness to how they filter information, how they perceive themselves, they perceive their thoughts, they perceive those emotions that they're having, what we do together is we work to reframe their limiting beliefs that they're carrying, the ones they carry throughout their whole life, unless that pattern is disrupted. And we learn to reframe them. When someone begins to gain that awareness of what their body and their mind is doing, they're really presented with this huge opportunity to make change and to take a chance to look at their life a little bit differently. And by growing that awareness to those thoughts and those emotions that are driving their behavior and that behavioral response in their body, and when they start to learn to connect the two, they really begin to discover when their body is impacted with these physiological issues, when they feel like their heart is racing, when they feel like their stomach ache is occurring, when they feel like their head is pounding. And this lets that teen understand that there is an emotional state needing to be addressed. Without that awareness, room, close that door.
Yeah.
Although this only makes life worse for them. And this is when their anxiety increases. And when that increases, their mind is going to naturally serve to find other experiences that they've had before to reinforce that same emotion so that they can justify shutting down or shying away or not even trying. So I coach that child to adopt a systematic approach by overturning these times when they want to shut down and shy away. And I coach the child to really identify and discover, what is it that you're feeling? What's your conscious brain telling you at this moment? And what's their subconscious brain saying to them? Their self-talk, that self-talk that they have. Understanding your self-talk and knowing what your self-talk is doing is important to managing those emotions. And by your child learning to identify these moments, whoa,
Sorry.
I almost kicked you over there, Sandra.
Sorry.
But by learning, your child learning to identify these moments when their subconscious mind starts sabotaging them, it really helps them to begin to manage that anxiety that's connected to those emotions. And it helps them through those challenging times. They learn to incorporate this process into every single part of their life. And they will begin to plan for those uh-ohs or those what ifs or I don't know if I can do this. And, they really just begin to learn an approach. And an approach that is a skill that's necessary to helping them reach their full potential in life. That approach helps them overcome adversity.
Yeah.
And learning this skill set, and it is a skill. It is a skill. Learning to plan, learning to set goals, learning to manage your emotions, that's all a skill. It's things that people can learn. And learning to act assertively helps you achieve what it is that you've set out to do. So, and I think it's important to be assertive about going after what you want because it really helps you fulfill that purpose and passion within your life. So. And then the last leg of the journey is working with that child to really cement that foundation. So, we bring the awareness, we learn to reframe some of those thoughts, behaviors, those words, terms, phrases, and then we work out a plan. And then we really want to cement that foundation. What do I mean by that? Well, each skill we learn, we have to practice. It's no different than if you were playing football. If you don't practice football, you're probably not going to be very good at it unless you're just naturally gifted. If you're not good at dance, you have to practice. You don't want to make a fool of yourself up on stage, so you practice. So everything I work with the child on are skills to help them down the road in their life. But they have to be practiced and they have to be reinforced. Every skill has to be reinforced during that practice. And part of that practice is just really pulling out information that's critical to helping that child improve. And by, collecting that data or analyzing it or looking at the feedback, looking at, what didn't work so well that time, what could I do better next time? That information, when they log that information, it really can help them during the next attempt. But more importantly, it helps them overcome those first roadblocks. And when you overcome one roadblock, it builds confidence. And when you overcome another roadblock, it continues to build that confidence. And the more roadblocks that you can overcome, the more confidence you build as a person, and things don't seem as challenging or as difficult anymore. So, if you have a child that suffers from anxiety, where they are in a situation that causes them uncertainty or stress or fear, or they've got challenges, or, they keep calling up these certain same emotions or feelings that, they does not have awareness of what anxiety is and what triggers these physiological reactions in their body, they're going to continue to, excuse me, experience emotions that hold them down, that limit them in life. And I worked with FedEx Ground for 18 years, and it was alarming to me to see how many people held themselves back because of the beliefs that they had, the deep rooted beliefs that they had established earlier on in their life that continued to trap them and keep them from finding out what their passions and their purpose in life was. Instead, they just stayed where they are because it was safe, it was comfortable, it wasn't challenging, and it made them feel like um, life would be okay. Whereas when you teach them to manage some of those deep rooted beliefs that have been so hurtful and damaging over their life,
Mm.
you start to peel away some of the layers of what's happened to them, and you can then help them push through that and build a plan to overcome those challenges so that the same patterns aren't repeated. So understanding how your mind works and the impacts to your physical and emotional state really helps bring constant awareness. And this awareness is used to manage or control these thoughts and emotions and physical reactions. So being able to manage your emotions helps you to make sound decisions because your judgment is not clouded by that emotion. So, when your child can take control of what their mind is thinking, and your child can also manage their reactions to those thoughts, instead of reacting with the same emotional response and behavior, suddenly your child will begin to work through this new state of approach. And this approach will help them reshape those thoughts and reframe them to help them in the future, especially when they go into a career down the road. So, my coaching focuses on promoting mental and physical awareness, reframing those limited thoughts, building a foundation, setting goals, and really working on enhancing key building blocks, key concepts that are building personal growth and success. And learning that awareness and learning to become aware of what's happening inside your body will help you set that plan, especially when things get hard, and they'll help you keep moving forward in life. So, and it doesn't happen overnight. you know Through this program, those key concepts that I work with the child helps them extinguish those deep rooted internal beliefs and replace them with new ones that will help them and take away that worry and take away that fear and take away that anxiety. So, and it'll help them, overcome those social and emotional pressures, because there's plenty of social and emotional pressures out there for our children today, more than we ever had to deal with or could ever think to deal with. So, by reinforcing all of this, um, I I work I work through activities, critical thinking activities. I work through coaching challenges, mental imagery, and it really helps build confidence and courage in the child to overcome those social and emotional struggles. But that's what I do for a child, and I help other people as well. I don't focus solely on teens, but I truly believe that the power is within us, and if we focus more on controlling what's going on inside our head and inside our body, we can really create opportunities that we never dreamed of, create a life that we can be proud of and have passion and purpose. So, and that's what I wanted to share with everyone today. So thank you, Sandra, again, for letting me be a part of such a wonderful summit. It really, truly has been an honor for me to experience this today. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie, for sharing so much with us. So many insightful, highlights in this session. Thank you so much. We are definitely going to go back expository. Thank you, Stephanie. Do you have any question? Is there any question? Is there any question? If you would like to work with Stephanie, I already mentioned her handle on the posts, that I made about her session. And I'm also, when I'm posting the quotes from her session, I'm going to tag her again. Her handle is Here We Go Coaching. Here We Go Coaching. So you can follow her. If you have questions, please feel free to ask her. And I just want to be sure that everyone participating in this conference, gets transformed. We just want healing to happen in the homes of every participant, so far. Thank you so much, Stephanie. It was such a pleasure to have you. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Thank you too, and thank you, audience. I love you, and I love all the hearts. Those hearts mean so much to me. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
thank you.
Stephanie.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. Thank you so much, dear parents. Thank you for tuning in. It's been value back to back. It's been so insightful. In fact, words fail me, but like I said at the beginning, I just thank God because when it's time for a new level, when it's time, to retrace your steps, when it's time to begin to do better, God is not going to come down, to begin to point things out to you. It is through platforms like this, it is through learning experiences, that you get opened up to see yourself, you see the areas where you've been missing it, and then you begin to do better. I personally, even though I'm the host of this conference, I have learned so much. And trust me, after Sunday, which is the last session, after Sunday, I am going back to all the videos, to take notes. Please, I encourage you to do the same. Go back, take notes. And like Dapo said in the first session, it is not about what you hear. It's not about the knowledge you get. It is about the knowledge you are ready to apply. So please, we need to apply and implement all of these things that we have learned from this conference so far, so that we can actually begin to see that turning point in our families, in our homes, and in the lives of our children, and in our own lives as well. Thank you so much. Our next session is supposed to start at 7 p.m., but I'm going to beg you to give us about 10 minutes to put things in place. Yeah, so we begin at 7:10. We have Coach Abibo. If you want to learn how to improve your home, you and I know that so many things are going on right now. In fact, the latest one that is trending about Spider-Man, I haven't had time to make a post about it because of this conference. We need to improve our homes. I mean, you can't be there with your children all the time. So please come back at 7:10 p.m. and we are going to be learning from a certified addiction therapist. He really knows his onions. He'll be telling us how to improve our homes. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'll see you at 7:10 p.m. Bye-bye.